In the Donetsk region, Ukrainian soldiers defeated a Russian armored group that was trying to break through the defense in the Kurakov sector. The video of the destruction of the invaders was published by the press service of the 214th OP-4, Separate Special Battalion. The Russian command sent several armored vehicles with infantry to break through the Ukrainian defense near the village of Kostiantynivka. The movement of the Russian armored group along a field road was detected by Ukrainian reconnaissance drones. Then Ukrainian gunners of the 31st Brigade's self-propelled artillery battalion began to fire at the enemy column. Cluster munitions and drone strikes were used to destroy enemy infantry. All this time, Ukrainian drones were adjusting artillery fire and detecting the invaders trying to gain a foothold. Some of the enemy armored vehicles were destroyed, and the assault near the destroyed settlement was repelled. Fierce fighting continues in the Kurakov sector as well as in other parts of the front line. The Russian invaders are trying to break through the Ukrainian defense there. They carry out periodic assault actions involving armored vehicles and tanks. In early July, the Ukrainian paratroopers defeated a Russian armored group with the help of artillery, minefields, and attack drones. Then the occupiers tried to break through the defense with a T-62 MV tank and BMP-3 infantry fighting vehicles. Meanwhile, Ukrainian troops in Olenivka hit a parking lot where the invaders were hiding a Tor air defense system. The system was identified by scouts from the 79th Separate Air Assault Brigade, who observed it using a drone. The reconnaissance drone accompanied the Russian system to its parking place in the village of Olenivka. The invaders hid the Tor in an industrial building on the outskirts of the village. The location was immediately hit by a U.S. HIMARS rocket system. It is highly likely that the system was disabled by a direct hit or due to shell fragments. On 25th of July, there are a lot of updates from the Kurakov direction. Here, Russian forces regrouped following the lack of success with their intensified attacks against Kostiantynivka. They launched a renewed offensive, shifting their focus to a different direction in the region to disrupt Ukrainian logistics and achieve a significant breakthrough. Aware of the tactical objectives the Russians aimed to accomplish, the Ukrainians methodically countered their campaigns at each stage of the plan. Ukrainians used the short, tactical pause on this part of the front line to further sustain their local air superiority by continuing to hunt Russian air defense assets within the effective range of their available weapon systems. Geolocated footage published by Ukrainian military bloggers shows how a Russian S-300V air defense system is engaged by a Ukrainian HIMARS, launching rockets with cluster munition. One of the most detailed videos of such strikes shows how these highly effective Western munitions target various system elements separately but repeatedly. Consequently, the images show how the rocket launchers, radar, and command center are all destroyed. Simultaneously, both sides relaunched ground attacks against each other around Kostiantynivka. Ukrainian drone operators from the 79th Air Assault Brigade published several geolocated videos showing how they target enemy tanks, armored personnel carriers, and infantry with FPV drones and grenades dropped by drones. They tried to further weaken deliveries for Russians on the front line by conducting strikes in the rear against Ural supply trucks. One of the most exciting clips is courtesy of the Ukrainian Special Forces Battalion OP-4, which released how they operate to clear a tree line just south of the village. Shortly after the first shot is fired, a Ukrainian tank is struck by a Russian kamikaze drone and set ablaze. In a remarkable display of composure, a Ukrainian tank crewman jumps onto the burning vehicle and begins extinguishing the fire. Moments later, the tank is seen retreating to safety, thanks to the soldiers' brave and decisive actions, which saved the crew's lives and preserved valuable equipment. The intense conditions created by the Ukrainians around Kostiantynivka forced the Russians to attempt another surprise maneuver further south near the village of Vodiane. Various military analysts from both sides were alarmed by the significant advances made by Russian forces toward the crucial T-05-24 ground line of communication. Geolocated footage published in the last few days shows a Russian armored vehicle rapidly advancing along a tree line up to a point near the road, several kilometers from the previously assessed front line. The rate and ease of the vehicle's advance suggest that Russian forces likely held additional positions in field areas east of Vuhledar and were able to provide cover for the vehicle as it advanced.
Высылай!
Орудие!
Выстрел!
Лукоморье, я Бальма, тут записан данные. Километр 56-97. Выстрел! Заряд! Выстрел! Выстрел!
У лукоморья Ябали. Орудие замаскировано, расчет в укрытии.